Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. A sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. And now, here is Alex C.
Okay, here we go. It is the Yay or Nay Show with Alex C., a sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. We got quite a few things to talk about. Let's start with the game that was last night, the Monday Night Football game. Chargers and, of course, the Las Vegas Raiders, or is it the LA Raiders? Because by the crowd response, I couldn't tell who had the home field advantage. That was absolutely insane. To be in somebody's state. Now, I'm used to this in Arizona, to be honest, okay? When the Cardinals play at home, whoever the Cardinals are playing, the other team has more fans in the stands. So I'm very used to seeing this, in all honesty, when you talk about the Cardinals. But I'm not used to seeing this with other teams, because whenever you watch a Dallas Cowboy game, a Patriot game, a Saints game, a Steelers game, it's always home field advantage. Green Bay Packers, home field advantage. LA Rams, questionable. Last night, LA Chargers, more questionable, because there were more LA Raider fans, and I say LA Raiders because, again, that's what it felt like. That's what I saw. And I did hear a bunch of people make the comment that the Raiders were LA before the Chargers ever were, which technically is very true. So it was just amazing to see how many fans were in the stands. Then there were plenty more, again, for the Raiders than there were for the Chargers. And from a fan perspective, I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty cool. National media couldn't quite wrap their heads around it. But again, they're not fans. When they do their shows, they're only talking to themselves and the other broadcasters anyway. So what else would you expect from a national commentator? But it was pretty cool to see all the diehard Raider fans that were there. And plus, Raider fans travel well. That's always been the story. That's always been the case, right? Wherever they go, wherever they play, fans travel well. It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. They have fans in every market. Well, so do the Raiders. And so it was just cool to see. And it was a great game. In the beginning, let's start here. Justin Herbert wins the game, wins the day, wins the vote of the national media. There's no way around that. It's easy to say that because that's absolutely what happened. Herbert looked good. He looked strong. He looked, it was a lot like you were watching him play at Oregon. He dominated. He was in control. Everybody seemed in awe of him, in awe of his abilities, afraid of what he was going to do, not knowing what he was going to do. Nobody was able to really put him into a predictable pattern, and he was able to take control, and he was able to make some things happen. So that was kind of fun to see, because you don't normally see guys who are young be able to have the command of a field the way that Justin Herbert had command last night. There were points last night where, he fell a little flat. He wasn't 100% consistent throughout the game, but he was very consistent, and he was definitely more than consistent enough. And they pulled away enough that even though Las Vegas made a run back at him, that they were still able to keep control and win the game. I was very, very impressed by their running back. I thought, man, this guy, he could be something. I guess there are rumors about him not necessarily able to stay healthy, but he could do something. That guy, he's got moves. He is good. Eckler, I believe, is his name. That guy is good. And then, you watch the Raiders. They go in, they make halftime adjustments. I got to give Gruden all the credit in the world. Every week, it seems like he's having to make halftime adjustments, and he does it. And they come out and they perform well. They play hard, and they played to the end. They never quit. They never gave up. They fought hard. Obviously, they believe in their coach, Gruden, and he did an absolutely great job of coaching. He just seems to have a hard time getting his team to understand they've got to come out from the very beginning and play 60 minutes of ball and get off to a fast start. They're always slow to the start. They always, seem to wait until they get to the second half, and then all of a sudden they're able to put their foot on the pedal, and they've got to get used to, again, putting their foot on the pedal the minute the first whistle blows. But they just haven't figured that out yet. They're going to. Gruden's going to obviously get them to be able to do that. He's obviously getting through to them. His messages are working. He just has to overcome the hump of a slow start. I believe they'll get there. I believe that's their Achilles heel. I mean, their record could almost be a little misleading because, again, they're a second half team. They've trailed a lot. They've never really been in complete command and control, and you want to be the team that's in complete command and control, and you want to put teams away and put teams away early. You're not always going to be able to do that every week. No one's ever going to make you believe that that's what you should be doing every week, but that's the pattern you want to fall into. And the number one pattern you definitely want to fall into is, again, what? You got to get off to a fast start. You absolutely have to get off to a fast start. If you're not getting off to a fast start, you're putting yourself in a bad position, and that's not what you want to do, especially when the clock's always running, right? It never stops. Guys go out of bounds. The clock's still running. I have never been a fan of the way they run these clocks. I do not like the way they try to speed up the game. I have never met an NFL fan who's complained that games last too long. I've never met an NFL fan that says that clocks should continue to run. I don't think personally the teams get enough possessions. I think that once a team gets a lead, it makes it almost impossible for them to come back and be competitive because the clock's always running. So their chance of coming back and getting into the game are, difficult. And then to win it is even more difficult because the clock's always running. It's an enemy, and it's an enemy that in reality is bigger than the competition that they're facing because, again, the clock's always running. So as soon as somebody gets a 2-touchdown lead, you're like, oh, great, here we go. Because, again, somebody gets a 2-touchdown lead, you come back, you tie it up, now that team comes back, they score a touchdown, the half's over. The half's over. And a lot of times they won't even have enough time to get a touchdown to take the lead back. They just have enough time to march down the field and get a field goal, and the half's over. And that's too quick. We don't get enough of the competition that we really could and should be seeing in the NFL, especially with the level of players we have. The rules, the way they have them skewed so that the time is always running, to me, I don't understand it. I think it takes away from the game. I think it takes away from a lot of the things we could be watching and seeing and enjoying. And I just think that it's a bad idea the way they run the clock. I've never been a fan of it. I don't like it. I think they should go back to the way it used to be. When a guy goes out of bounds, the clock stops. Now you have to throw an incompletion to get the clock to stop. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. But with that being said, again, the Chargers pulled away. And then second half came. Raiders fought hard, came back in, played hard, made a game of it, fought all the way through and through. The Chargers had to work their butts off to pull away. But again, when they did, it was the end because, again, the clock's not your friend. Once somebody takes the lead, especially when you're talking about the second half, you're not talking about just battling the team and the competition that's across from you. Now you're talking about battling the clock, and I hate that. But it's the way it is, and what are you going to do? Everybody has to play by the same rules, so at least if nothing else, everybody's playing by the same rules. But it was a good game. The Chargers deserved the win. I don't know that I agree with all these national media guys, but again, they always have knee-jerk reactions to everything. I don't know that I agree with all these national media guys who are running around saying, okay, now you have the Chargers who potentially could be a favorite to win the AFC, and I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't know there yet. I think the sample size is too small. I think we have a lot more that we have to see. I don't think that we're there yet. I think there's definitely a whole lot more that has to take place. We don't know what injuries are going to transpire for the Chargers and for all the other teams because that's part of the season. And we have an extra week in the season, and it's the first year we have an extra week in the season. So there are a lot of things you have to play out. You got other teams that are already injured, and they're going to only get healthier. I would easily, even with as it stands now, put Baltimore above the Chargers. And even though the Raiders lost last night, in all honesty, I still have the Raiders above the Chargers. Again, I said they'd make the playoffs. I also said they'd be a wild card. They'd be, on the outside looking in. A lot of people are talking about them winning their division. Okay, maybe they win their division. I still don't think that makes them a deep threat to go all the way to the AFC Championship. Not yet. Again, sample size too small. And what happened to those coveted Buffalo Bills everybody's talking about on the national media level? Everybody's been crowning them as the guys that are going to come out of the AFC because everybody has basically put Kansas City on the back burner even before they took the losses. Everybody put them on the back burner, said that the Buffalo Bills were going to be the team to beat in the AFC. So why all of a sudden, again, unless it's a knee-jerk reaction, and I'm saying it is, why all of a sudden is everybody putting the Chargers above, Buffalo? I just think there's too many variables. And whatever happened to Cleveland? We all of a sudden lost faith in Cleveland? Last time I checked, they're still winning, playing good ball. Yeah, they played a bad game on Sunday, true. However, they fought, they scraped, they went tooth and nail. Sometimes you got to do that, and the good teams do that. So even though Cleveland didn't look good, they kind of did look good. Why? They had to claw their way to victory. sometimes that is the sign of a great team. When you have to fight tooth and nail to get the win and it's ugly, sometimes that is the sign of a great team. So I don't know why you're discounting Cleveland. So now we have who? Baltimore, who I say is one of the favorites. Buffalo, who the national media guys say is one of the favorites. Cleveland, who everybody arguably before the season started said was one of the favorites. Again, Kansas City, who I'm still not going to put away. Yeah, they lost a couple of games, but again, like I said, when it came to the Seattle Seahawks, they're going to figure it out. They're going to put it together. The team is on Patrick Mahomes' shoulders. That's a lot of weight to carry. This is his first season having to carry the weight. Again, once you pay the quarterback, you can't afford all the luxuries and you can't have all the jewels surrounding that quarterback. So now the weight of the team is on his shoulders, and we're going to find out what Patrick Mahomes is made of. But even if Patrick Mahomes is not as good as he's been in years past, 80% of Patrick Mahomes is still better than most of the league, let alone the AFC. So I would still put Kansas City above the Chargers. So I just named quite a few teams that I would put above the Chargers, but the national media guys are screaming that might be the team to come out of the AFC. So I don't agree, but we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell who's right, who's wrong. I'm still kind of leaning towards, again, Baltimore over all the others. Even though Baltimore's injured, I still have them above. There were a lot of people that were, crazy talking, saying the Broncos were a team to watch, but we saw how good they're not. They got smacked in the face by Baltimore on Sunday. Because, again, Denver hasn't beat anybody. And it got proven on Sunday. They got smacked in the face by the Ravens. So we'll wait and see, but I am not sold on what these guys are selling, which is the Chargers are the best team in the AFC right now. Even if we're talking about right here, right now, this moment as things stand, they are not even close to being the top team in the AFC. But it was a great game. But I give more credit to the Raiders for not losing faith, for not giving up, for coming back in the second half, for fighting, for playing hard. Derek Carr is a great quarterback. And again, the argument about Herbert being one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, no. Is he up and coming? Yes. Is he top 10? Of course. Is he, and we're talking about AFC though, is he top 10 in the league in total? He might be just about there, maybe a tick or two behind, but he's working his way up. But again, it's a young season. You got to make guys earn it. You can't just give up all these accolades to all these players off of 1 week's performance. And that's what a lot of these national media guys tend to do. They give all the accolades based off 1 week's performance as if, all right, there it is. Now we know this. No, you can't do that. You're just knee-jerk reacting. That makes you not even knowledgeable. That just makes you someone who has a knee-jerk reaction. And if the wind blows south today, you're going to say south is the way to go. If it blows north tomorrow, you're going to say north is the way to go. That doesn't make you anybody who sounds credible or knowledgeable. That just means you're a guy who has a microphone and a job. And because you have that microphone and the job, people are supposed to believe you're credible, even though you're making yourself sound not credible. So I don't transcribe or subscribe to what these guys are screaming at all. Chargers are not the best team in the AFC. Again, I listed who I believe the top teams are, and I believe I'm correct in regards to who those top teams are. And right now, at this moment, again, I still have Baltimore at the top of the heap. Am I saying they're going to be the AFC champs? No. I'm saying at this moment, they're probably the best team right now. But that doesn't mean Kansas City can't take them over. I'm still not convinced in Buffalo, but who knows? Maybe after we get a larger sample size, they might make me a believer. Then, of course, you have Cleveland, again, who I have been sold on, but I still need to see a little more, but I'm starting to definitely be a believer. So there are other things, other factors that can happen to change my mind. I'm not saying anything definitive, but I like how these national media guys always try to say stuff definitive, and then tomorrow they say something different, and then after they say something different, they act as if that's what they were saying all the time. It's hilarious to me. I will never do that. Again, I'm a sports fan doing a sports show for sports fans. I am not here to tell you what the media networks are telling me I need to say. Thank heavens I don't have that problem. All right, so we discussed Monday night. Let's move on to the wild card game. Tonight's game, I'm getting ready to watch it. Red Sox, Yankees, excited. Yankees are interesting. Went on this 12-game win streak, right? And then the next thing you know, you couldn't depend on them. Like, you really couldn't. If you were betting on the Yankees after that 12-game win streak, you couldn't depend on them. They even lost to Baltimore. Lowly Baltimore. They even lost to them. And there were a lot of games where the Yankees were favored, and they didn't win. So they're unreliable. Red Sox been hot, been consistent, been stable. I'm more sold on the Red Sox. So in all honesty, I believe the Red Sox will win tonight's game. I think that when I come back on tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about the Red Sox moving on in regards to the playoffs, since this is a wild card game. But I am definitely taking the Red Sox over the Yankees. I don't trust the Yankees. I don't think that they have anything to hang their hat on because they've been so inconsistent. I understand they're putting their ace on the mound, but you know what? The Red Sox can put all of their starters on the mound, and I will put that above the ace for the Yankees all day, every day. And I think that's going to be the difference maker, on top of the fact that the Red Sox have played consistent baseball and the Yankees have not. Again, if you've been monitoring, if you've been wagering, if you've been paying attention, you will have noticed Yankees have been favored in a lot of games in the last month, and they have lost a lot of those games. Outside of that 12-win streak games that they went on, they've been very inconsistent. So I'm going with the Red Sox without a doubt. National media still talking about the Cowboys being the best team in the NFL. Now, again, the disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals kills me. They're saying that the Cowboys had the most impressive victory. They're saying that Cowboys are favored to win the NFC West. And they're even saying that the Cowboys are favored to win the Super Bowl. I believe this is absolutely crazy. And again, national media guys, what happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You guys were saying Tampa Bay was the best team in the NFL. You've been saying that since we ended the season last year, that because they were bringing all their players back, they were guaranteed to win the Super Bowl. Now, there are still some of you that are still saying that exact same thing, that Tampa Bay is the best team and that they're going to win the Super Bowl. It is a foregone conclusion that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be repeat Super Bowl winners. There is a small, and let me reemphasize, there is a small portion of the national guys that have stuck with that story, which is also blasphemy. But you got a majority of these people who, for whatever the reason is, and they do it every year, want to support the Dallas Cowboys, want to tell you how they're the best team in football. They got the best quarterback. Now, all of a sudden, Ezekiel Elliott is rejuvenated, and boy, did you see that game, and did you see what he did Sunday? Again, against a team who had an offense who couldn't get it on because Christian McCaffrey is the offense. He's injured. He's out. And so they had to do, a make-do offense, put some super glue on, throw some stuff together, put some stuff against the wall, see what sticks. Not much did. They had a decent first half. And by the way, the Cowboys were losing at the end of the first half, so don't tell me how great they are when they were losing at the end of the first half and they pulled away in the second half. When that offense fell apart, it wasn't because of the Dallas defense either. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. It had nothing to do with the Dallas Cowboy defense. Zero, zilch, nada. Nothing to do with the Dallas Cowboy defense. It had everything to do with the fact that they were going to be inept because of the simple reason that they could not put anything together because Christian McCaffrey is the offense. You got Sam Darnold as the quarterback. He is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. You saw how good he was with the Jets. He's that good without Christian McCaffrey and the Carolina Panthers as well. So the quarterback is who the quarterback is. Without Christian McCaffrey, he's not going to work. So basically what he is he's a quarterback that if he has all the luxuries around him, you give him the best receivers, you give him the best running back, you give him the best coach, you give him a lot of inferior competition, then he could maybe do some things and he could maybe win some games. But if he's missing any of those pieces, like the largest piece who makes up 40% of that offense, Christian McCaffrey, and we're just talking about 40% of the touches, Christian McCaffrey, he's the scorer. He's the producer. He is the reason why that offense goes. And they were missing him, and you saw it. And without that big piece, Sam Darnold cannot do it on his own. And so don't tell me how great that Dallas Cowboy defense is. No, I'm not impressed. Don't tell me how they were a field goal away from beating Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's not the best team in football anyways. You saw that when they got smacked around by the Rams. So don't tell me how great they are. You should have seen how great Tampa Bay was when they had a struggle of a time to beat the lowly, no playoff hopes in any way, shape, or form New England Patriots on Sunday. So don't tell me how the Cowboys beat a great team, because they did not when they beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. And they did not when they beat Carolina. So you guys build stories. It's like drama. You guys are like the Kardashians. You sit there and you build a story and you hope people buy it and you sell it and you sell it and you sell it and you sell it and you hope people buy. And that's what you're doing with the Dallas Cowboys. But again, at the end of the year, once again, I will be right. National media will be wrong. Dallas Cowboys will be middle of the road. Yes, they're going to win their division only because they're in the worst division in football. They got who? The Washington football team. Wow. They got who? The New York Giants. Wow. They got who? The Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. Eagles might be good in 2 years. Maybe. They got some questions to figure out, but they're not going to figure it out during the season. It's going to be in the offseason. They got a lot of questions to answer, and they're going to have to do some serious homework to answer those questions. New York Giants, supposedly everybody's happy with the quarterback. Supposedly Danny Dimes is making everybody happy right now. It's the rest of the roster that everybody's unhappy with. Supposedly everybody's on the fence in regards to whether they need to make a coaching change, but everybody unanimously seems to think that they need to make a change in the general manager position. I would tend to agree with that wholeheartedly. And then Washington. I think you're going to have to make a lot of changes as well, starting with the coach, starting with the general manager. You're going to have to blow that team up. You don't have a quarterback, and that was a mistake. And that was a mistake on Ron Rivera. That was a mistake on the general manager. You're going to have to blow that team up, and you're going to have to start from scratch. So they're nowhere near being competitive. So the Cowboys will win the division. Are they going to be, a real true threat to go to the NFC Championship and win the Super Bowl? No. National media is going to try and sell it to you and make you believe that they are, but they're not. And again, the disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals, going back to that, it's amazing. They had the most impressive win. They didn't just beat, arguably, at this point in time, the best team in football in the LA Rams. They smacked them around. It was an impressive win. I'm not a Cardinal fan. I'm a 49er fan. Keep that in mind. And yet I'm still saying respect is owed to the Arizona Cardinals for the most impressive win of the week. It was not the Dallas Cowboys. It's amazing how everybody unanimously across the board, all the national media guys are trying to make you believe that the Dallas Cowboy victory was the most impressive win. No, it was not. Arizona Cardinals was the most impressive win. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers, another topic we got to get into really quickly. Okay, Jimmy G might start on Sunday. I'm saying, look, you're injured. You might as well not start. I do believe you should be the starting quarterback. I've been saying all along he should be the starting quarterback. But why not just give all the snaps to Trey Lance in practice? Why not let Trey Lance play? The chances of the 49ers winning, even with Jimmy G, I think are slim. Only because, again, you don't have a secondary. Everybody's injured. You don't have a running back room. Everybody's injured. And I believe the Cardinals are going to be able to expose it. I don't think they're going to come in overconfident. And I don't think the 49ers without a running back room can execute a running game. And you have to beat the Cardinals with a running game. But you can't do that when you don't have a running back room. So since the 49ers don't have a running back room and they're going to be one-dimensional, I would say argumentatively that if you're going to be one-dimensional, and I can't believe I'm saying this, you're better off with Trey Lance at quarterback if you're going to be one-dimensional. If you had the full complement of your running back room and with or without the secondary, if you had the full complement of the running back room, then I would say Jimmy G would be your best option. But I believe if Shanahan is as smart as everybody says he is, and if he really is a student of the game and he really looks at this from the outside looking in, as he should, instead of being an insider, then he would agree that Trey Lance, if you're going to go one-dimensional, is your best opportunity to win. If you're going to go with a full running back room, and you're not, but if you were, then I would say Jimmy G would be the way to go. I think he's not looking at who should and shouldn't start in the right way. He's got the luxury of two quarterbacks. He's got the luxury of being able to do a lot of different things. He even has the luxury of running them in and out and opting them in and out the way he did in game number 1. And I believed he was going to do that throughout the season, and I believe he should be doing that throughout the season. I believe situationally he should be playing situation ball. He's not doing it. He should, but I believe he should. I believe it's a mistake he's making by not doing it. But again, if you're just going to do the one quarterback because you believe that a team should know who the quarterback is going to be for the entire game, then I would say, again, without a running back room, Trey Lance. If you had your running back room, I would go with Jimmy G. But even if you're going to go one-dimensional with Trey Lance, you probably don't got a chance. If you were going to go with a full complement of running backs and Jimmy G, then I think the 49ers would blow the Cardinals up. But you're not going to be that effective offensively if you're going to have to be one-dimensional and Jimmy G's all you got, even though you do got good receivers, even though you do got good schemes and great plays, and you can do a lot of different things look-wise. it's not going to matter because they're going to know you're limited in regards to what you can do run-wise, and the Cardinals are going to expose that. And then you put that on top of the fact that you don't have a secondary, so Kyler Murray is going to pretty much be able to have a field day not because Kyler Murray is all that in a bag of chips, but DeAndre Hopkins is, and he's going to expose that secondary. So that's going to be the problem you have there. So 49ers got a lot of things to consider, and a lot of people are counting them out now. They went from being Super Bowl contender to non-contender. And right now, with the way things stand, just because there just seems to be so much there, I would have to say I agree. 49ers at this point, season ends today, would be a wild card at best. All right, time to enjoy tonight's Major League Baseball action. Yankees, Red Sox. Again, I am predicting a Red Sox victory. Yankees, by the way, are favored, but I'm not really understanding it. I believe the favorites are truly the Red Sox. Again, consistency. They got the entire bullpen to pull from. The Yankees are too inconsistent. Haven't been consistent since the 12-game win streak. Lost a lot of games they were favored in. This is another game they're favored in. Not to say that really has anything to do with them winning or losing tonight, but I just look at it like it's just another mistake that the people in Vegas are making in regards to putting them as a favorite, because I just don't see it. I don't understand it. I get it. They're privy to information that I don't have, but I still believe I'm going to be the one who's right. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about a Boston Red Sox victory. So you guys have a great day. Enjoy tonight's Major League Baseball action, and we will talk tomorrow.